Join us as we take your kitchen to Sweden with our very own Swedish cheesecake recipe. So gather up your baking tools and together with Arla Pro, we'll discover new and exciting ways to make different cheesecakes from around the globe. Hello, I'm Chef Pauline Lagdameo from the Pastry Alliance of the Philippines. Welcome to Arla Pro Digital Kitchen Series. The first step for our cheesecake is to put the Arla Pro 34% cream cheese into a mixing bowl. Make sure that the cream cheese is already softened. Then we put in our sugar and we blend this just until it is smooth. Once our 34% cream cheese is softened already and smooth with the sugar, we now add our second cream cheese. This is the Arla Pro 25%. What is the difference? The Arla Pro 25% is actually softer and it's lighter because it has less fat, making your cheesecake a little bit lighter. The reason why we're putting two types of cream cheese in here is because the original Swedish cheesecake is actually made with cottage cheese. But for us here, we really want our cheesecakes nice and creamy. So the 34% Arla Pro cream cheese gives us that creaminess and that smoothness, while the 25% Arla Pro cream cheese makes it lighter and a little bit more refined than your traditional cheesecakes. So once it's blended, we now add our eggs one by one. The reason why we add this one by one is because we don't want the eggs to split. And if you look at it now, it seems like it's still split, and that's why you don't want to add your eggs too fast, especially since we are doing this by hand. But if you notice, it actually comes together quite fast. Once you see that it's already blended, you don't see egg whites already splitting, you can now add your next egg. And same thing again, just blend it until it is not split anymore. This is a very easy recipe to do and you don't need special equipment for this. If you do have a mixer, a hand mixer, or a stand mixer, go ahead and use that. But we don't really want to mix it too much because you have more tendencies of your cheesecake cracking if you over mix your cheesecake or your cream cheese mixture. We now add the third egg. And at this point, before I mix it in, I'm also putting in already my vanilla. And we blend again. While I'm doing this, I just want to mention, the Swedish cheesecake is a little bit different from the cheesecakes that we are more familiar with. Number one is that they bake it in a casserole dish, and it's commonly eaten during breakfast with fresh fruits or jam or compote. So today, that's how we're going to bake it as well. Okay, so it's nice and mixed now. It's okay if you have a little bit of lumps. In fact, the original one with the cottage cheese really does have the curds in the cheesecake. So once this is done, we now mix in. I have my salt and my sifted all-purpose flour, and I mix the salt in with the flour, and I just stir the flour in. just until blended. So, we mix in our flour with salt. And then, this is another thing that makes it different from our other cheesecakes. We actually put in ground almonds. So, your cheesecake comes out a little bit on the creamy side, but not as heavy. But at the same time, you have a different texture from the ground almonds that are incorporated into the cheesecake batter. And again, stir. You don't have to worry here about, anything deflating or if you have to fold it properly. You just mix everything together. Once the ground almonds are incorporated, I'm adding in now Arla whipping cream. This makes it even more creamy, and it also gives you more of the rich dairy flavor that is present in our Swedish cheesecake. And we mix this until it is just combined. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention also, aside from them eating this during breakfast, is that a lot of times they also eat this warmed. So you heat this up in the oven, and then they scoop it out and they put it into their bowls, and then they top it with the fruits, which is quite different from the way we usually eat our cheesecakes, which is as a dessert and normally at room temperature or chilled. So now this is mixed and we get our baking dish, and we just pour the mixture into the baking dish. I am using an oval baking dish here, but this amount of batter is good for a 9 by 9 inch square baking dish. You can also do this in individual portions, for example, in ramekins. So, or if you have a business, you can put it into your aluminum disposable cups and sell it like that. And bake it in a preheated oven at 170 degrees Celsius for 30 minutes or until your cheesecake is just jiggly in the center. While waiting for our cheesecake to bake, I have some really good news for you. For those of you who have a business, are you using Arla Pro for your dairy professional needs? Get a chance to win exciting prizes by sharing with us your Arla Pro stories. All you have to do is make your favorite recipe using any Arla Pro product. Take a photo of your recipe and post it online. Make sure to tag us on our official Facebook page via @ArlaProPH. Share with us your kitchen stories why you trust Arla Pro for your dairy needs with the hashtag #MyArlaPro, and get a chance to win 6,000 pesos worth of Arla Pro products. 5 lucky winners will be chosen for the months of September and October 2021. For the toppings, the first thing we do is we heat our pan on medium heat, and then we put in our sugar. And we wait for the sugar to melt and caramelize. So, once you see it start to turn color like this, we just allow it to continue to cook. Once it's browned like this, we add now our Arla unsalted butter. And we add in our fruits. I'm using strawberries, I have blueberries, and I have nectarines. You can use whatever fruits you have on hand. Mangoes, pineapples, kiwi if you want. That's all fine. Apples. And I'm also putting in some orange zest. We add now our orange juice and we allow that to reduce. So using branded fruits on top of the Swedish cheesecake is ideal because the original Swedish cheesecake is usually eaten with fresh fruits or jam or fruit compote. So this also cuts a lot of the richness and creaminess and goes very well with that cream cheese flavor from our cheesecake. Lastly, we add in our brandy. And you allow this to reduce because you want to remove actually the alcohol from the brandy and leave the taste which will blend in with our fruits. And we allow this to just simmer until it thickens a little bit. Once our sauce has thickened, we turn off the heat. And then you can transfer this to a container to cool down a little bit before putting it on top of the cheesecake. While we're cooling down our fruits, we're going to pull out the cheesecake now from the oven. We now put our topping on top of our baked cheesecake. And there we have it, our Swedish cheesecake. All made better, of course, with Arla Pro products. Be sure to check our best Arla Pro products when you visit any S&R membership clubs. When you do, look for our Arla Pro sales consultant and they'll be ready to assist you with your dairy kitchen needs. Global Pacific Distribution Network is the exclusive food service distributor for Arla and Arla Pro products. Stay tuned for more exciting cheesecake recipes as we travel with our taste buds to another destination next week. Only here at the Arla Pro Digital Kitchen Series. Again, this is Chef Pauline Lagdameo. Tak tak! See you soon!